complex. My grandfather was a very diverse and talented man. He was a farmer, a plumber, an actor, and an accountant. And he would always tell us these stories when I was growing up, myself and all of his grandchildren. He kind of have us gather around. He'd be out there on the porch, the sun is setting, he had a bottle of Coca-Cola, the old glass bottles, he's rocking on the rocking chair. We knew at that point, like, that's the scene is set. He's going to tell us, he's going to spin these yarns. And always came back to these 3 rules that I'm going to share with you. My grandfather was extraordinarily talented. One year he won a major award for portraying Virgil from Dante's Divine Comedy, Hamlet, and Tybalt from Romeo and Juliet on the stage. And he was so dedicated, so committed, that in his preparation, you could say he was one of those people that was like a method actor that would really get into the role. In order to prepare to play Virgil, he learned to speak Latin perfectly and Italian as well. And people told him, look, first of all, this is not necessary at all. The production is solely in English, and you really do not have to learn Latin, because if you know anything about the Divine Comedy, Dante basically invents modern Italian. And so there's just no need. He was that committed, though. He was that committed to the role. He's on stage playing Tybalt in the production of Romeo and Juliet, and the different servants of the Montagues and Capulets are in the street fighting, right? There's that, Abram and Samson kind of scene. Do you bite your thumb at us, sir? I do bite my thumb, sir. Do you bite your thumb at us, sir? No, sir. I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I bite my thumb, sir. And then, of course, Benvolio, who is Romeo's cousin, jumps into the fray, pulls out his sword, and says he just wants to keep the peace. And Tybalt, my grandfather, comes into the fray, and he's like, what? Art thou drawn among these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio, look upon thy death. And Benvolio, once more protests that, listen, I'm just trying to keep the peace, and maybe you can even help me do this. And Tybalt says, what? To drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word as I hate hell. All Montagues and thee, have at thee, coward. At that moment in the production, a pipe burst in the theater. My grandfather was such a good actor and such a good plumber. He fixed the pipe, and people later on had to go back and revisit the original Romeo and Juliet script to understand that that was not part of the production. He did it so well, people thought that Tybalt, when he's about to fight Benvolio in the streets, actually goes and fixes a pipe. That's how well he did it. That's the kind of person that he was.